So in the last video, we talked about measuring barometric pressure using different scales. So how can we convert from one scale to another? Well, we know that 1 atmosphere is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury. We also know that it's the same in torr, the Italian scientist who named it after himself, Torricelli. Now we can convert the millimeters of mercury into centimeters of mercury, so it's 76 centimeters of mercury. And we also know that if we're just using a regular ruler or a yardstick from the United States, it's 29.9 inches of mercury. We also covered that if it is water, because water is 13.6 times less dense than mercury, it would be 33.9 feet of water. Now, if we're using mercury, we discussed the density of mercury being involved. So that means it would be 14.7 psia. The A stands for atmosphere, but pounds per square inch, or 1,034 grams per centimeter squared. Now I can convert 33.9 feet of water into metric, and it is 1,034 centimeters of water. So it's the same as grams per centimeter squared. In meteorology, when we're talking about the weather, they use a scale called millibars. So when you're watching the weather and they're talking about high pressures and low pressures, you'll see them use numbers in the millibar scale. And of course, the SI unit is kilopascal. So 1 atmosphere is equal to 101.33 kilopascals. Okay, Dr. Aumiller, so that's all very fascinating information. What the heck do I do with that? Well, what is the pressure in centimeters of water for an oxygen cylinder that has 2,000 pounds per square inch of pressure? So I'm going to teach you how to do the calculations. Since we know that 1 atmosphere is equal to all of these, that means they are all equal to each other. So we know that 14.7 pounds per square inch is the same as 1,034 centimeters of water. So if I have 2,000 pounds per square inch, how many centimeters of water is that? So when you set up this equation, you cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to take the top left, 14.7, times the bottom right, which is x, and I get 14.7x. I'm going to take the top right and multiply it by the bottom left. So 2,000 times 1,034 gives me 2,068,000. Now to get x by itself, and remember x is centimeters of water, that's what we're looking for, we divide both sides by 14.7, and we get 140,680.27. So a 2,000 psi pressure oxygen cylinder has 140,680 centimeters of water pressure in it. Let's use something with not quite so many big numbers. Let's talk about your tires. Okay? If a normal tire pressure on your tires is 30 psi, which is what it should be, between 30 and 35 psi, what's the measurement in millimeters of mercury? Well, we know that 14.7 psi is equal to 760 millimeters of mercury. And we have 30 psi is how much millimeters of mercury? So again, we're going to cross multiply and divide. So I'm going to take the 14.7 in the top left corner times the x in the bottom right, and that's going to give me 14.7x on the left. I'm going to take the 30 in the top right corner and multiply it by the 760 in the bottom left corner, and that's going to give me 22,800. Then I'm going to divide each side by 14.7 to get x by itself. And x is equal to 1,551 millimeters of mercury. So what does that mean to you? Well, we can convert that into atmospheres. All I have to do is say I have 1,551 millimeters of mercury, and 1 atmosphere is 760 millimeters of mercury. So I divide 1,551 divided by 760, and I end up with 2.04 atmospheres. So the amount of pressure in your tires is twice the barometric pressure than is at sea level. So you will be doing calculations like this on homework assignment that is in this unit, and they will also be on your exam. If you have any questions about this, again, you can email me, set up a meeting with me, or drop a question in the discussion area under Ask the Instructor. Please don't wait with this. If you don't understand it and you have questions, you want to ask them now.